what we're talking about, I could hold this, is this whole idea of Partaal. And so in the headings of the Guru Granth Sahib, every Shabad has a heading, and usually we're very, very familiar with the rag, usually it has the rag and it says mahalla and what guru that the Shabad is ascribed to. And sometimes we have things called qad, and it gives you certain numbers of qad. And many people have, or lately, have attributed that to, say, beats or tals or the way that that you're going to sing. However, really, we look at it, it's a lot of conjecture as to what that means. There's nothing really that's confirmed that we know about what gar means. Another heading that I'm going to talk about is Partaal. And Partaal is something that you will see, and it's only, you will only see it after a Shabad composed by Guru Ram Das Sahib Ji or Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And it's very, very complex, and it has many different, and if you look at it in the past, you'll see it defined in many ways. So one of the ways that it's been defined is in the Mahan Kosh by Kan Singh Nabha as verification, scrutiny, checking, audit, inquiry, investigating, confirmation, or janch. And so if you'll notice that this definition really doesn't have anything to do musically. He does talk a little bit about music and what it might mean. Oh, we're good. Excellent. What it might mean. But, and he kind of says that if there is anything, we really don't have anything historically that kind of shows or has an example that nothing has survived of what Partaal means. I really like Inderjeet and Nan Kaur's definition, and she says Partaal as singing through rhythmic variations, both of tal and le, and that different verses are sung in different tals or le. And this is of importance because the rhythmic variations draw the listener's attention to changes in emphasis in the Shabad and are a powerful way of tuning into the nuances of the Shabad. So she has taken on what recently we've talked about what Partaal means. And when people guess to say, or when people say what Partaal is lately in the last 20, 30 years, especially in Partaal, the whole idea is that you sing the Shabad, every line in a different tal. And that's what I'm going to be singing for you today, the Partaal in the different tals. And I do also just preface that with saying that there's nothing historically to say that that's how Guru Ram Das Ji or Guru Arjan Dev Ji sang it. We do know, however, that a Partaal Shabad is very, very complex. And you can see that in the way of the lines that are created. So this is the Shabad I'm going to be singing. It's in Rag Bilaval, Mahla Panjwa, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Kar Tera, and Partaal. So you will see this as the heading, Ek Onkar Satgur Prasad. And what's so neat, or what's so interesting about a Shabad here is the beat patterns, or rhythmically we can look at the number of beats that are in a line. And so usually, you'll find the most common Shabads that are sung, rhythmically the beats are very, very parallel. There's the same number of beats in the first line as opposed to the second line. Or, and those are the ones that you find more common because they're easy to sing rhythmically and musically. So if you look at this though, if you look at the first line, you have Mohan Need Na Ave Have Har Kajar Bastara Paran Kine, right? And so that has a lot of beats or rhythmics in it. And then you look at the second line, it's Odini, Odini, Odini. Kab Kar Ave. So I think there's a word missing there. But and so what you'll notice is that it's a little bit different, and the balancing and the way it is structured is much, much more different. And what I also say, especially in this Shabad, is that if you look, I think the Gurus are very, very intentional when they write Partaal, and that when you sing Partaal, that there's also something else going in the meaning of the Shabad. So if you look at this one, it's a love song essentially, and it's a song about, or it's a Shabad about, a beloved trying to find, her love, and she's saying that I can't sleep, and I'm dressed up, and I've got my clothes on, and I've got everything, but I'm so depressed. Odini, Odini means depressed. So not just once. Odini, Odini, Odini. I'm so depressed. And when are you coming home? Kab garavedi, right? And so that's the first line. And so usually when you sing a shabad, you usually use, like raha would be your break. So you would always sing it together. So you would sing this component always together. You tend not to break it up because you kind of lose the meaning of it. So the next break is the next line, and is the first antara. So this is my asthai. Asthai is what you always come back to. This is like the root of the shabad. And in this shabad, this has a really neat format because it has two rahals. So it has two essential deep meanings or central ideas. And so one is this status of depression or despair. And then if you go on further, it's Sadan Sohagan Charan Sistar Lalan Mohimalavo Kabgaraveri. So it's this whole idea of like, I really want, like, you know, this desire, and what should I do? Where I desire Charan Sistar, you know, to be at your feet. And so what is that journey looking like? And so in the shabad that I'm going to be singing, the composition, which is composed by Professor Tara Singh from many years ago. There's this one book that he wrote that is very, very difficult to get, but luckily I have it. I was going to bring it, but somewhere in my travels I just forgot to put it in my suitcase. And and it was taught to me by my teacher, Professor Paramjit Singh. And so the first antara is in Rupak. So the first, you'll notice that the first transition. So my asthai is going to be sung in Tintal, and the first one is Rupak, and Rupak is 7 beats. So I'll go back to the asthai and then sing the third one. And again, just keep on noting the complexity of the balance of the lines, right? Like Sono Sahedi Milan Baat Kar. You know what, I think I've got, this is on the, this is a different font, so the words aren't, it's not coming up right. So Sagaro ahang matavo to garhi lalan pavo. So that's one line. Tabras mangal gun gavo anand roop te avo nanak dware ao to main lalan payori. So this is the journey. So how do I find my beloved? And so it's talking about sangat, the whole concept of sangat. Sono saheri milan baat kar. So let's get together and let's talk about it. So this is also along the journey where the work is happening, saying what I want to do, how am I going to get there, and what's that process. So we're going to be singing that. I'm going to be singing that in Tintal, and then the last one, Mohan Roop the Kave. So at the beginning, Mohan Neen na ave. What happens here? Ab moy neen sahave. So now my beloved puts me to sleep. You know, sab meri tirkha bujani. So all my doubts and fears are gone. Ab main saj samani, meethi pir hai kahani. Mohan lalan payuri. Now that I've obtained my beloved. So if you notice that each component, each line, is going through. It's that person going through that journey, one of despair to the one of obtaining your beloved. So I just think this is so beautiful, and it just puts me into awe of what the gurus were thinking when they put those titles up there, you know, saying this is a Partaal, and this is what, and you know, and we can only conjecture as to what it might be. We see the complexity in the way it's designed, the lines are designed, but then we also see the complexity and the beauty in that journey as well. And so we'll go sing that. And I'm very lucky to have Neelam play tabla with me. I called him, and he's like, okay. He was very, very calm and saying, you know, it'll be all good. So I'm glad he's here.